What is the best EDC that you can put together at Bass Pro Shops? That's a question I answered 2 years ago, and I'm sure things have changed.
So, we did just that. We went to Bass Pro this morning and got the best EDC that we could in store. And with that said, let's do the damn thing. So let's start with just what I carry, because this was like the analog for what I was looking for in Bass Pro. We didn't really nail it because reasons, right? Buying stuff from a big box store like this is always kind of up to chance what they have in stock. Some things they just don't carry. But what we were looking for was a knife, a multi-tool, a wallet, a pen, and a flashlight. We were also looking for a notebook, but I don't always carry one on me. Sometimes I do. A watch and keys, which coincidentally I left in the other room. But the idea is something to carry your keys with or organize them. A wallet, knife, multi-tool, watch, flashlight, and a pen. So here's the analog, and let's see how Bass Pro stacks up. And because I know, here, I'll just take a second to explain this, because I know that a lot of you are gonna ask, this is the watch. I get questions about this watch all the time. This is the Big Idea Design TI EDC watch. It is an automatic watch from Big Eye, made by RZE, and the bracelet is also from RZE. It is their titanium bracelet with a quick adjust bracelet. It also has a quick release on the spring bars for the bracelet. Very nice bracelet, very nice watch. I get tons of questions about it. There you go. So this is what we came away with. I spent just under $500. I knew that it was going to be expensive. This is not the best budget carry that you can put together. This is the best carry that you can put together in one of these stores. So I knew it was not going to be cheap. I knew it was going to be a little bit more expensive than if we went to Walmart or something, because Bass Pro carries zero tolerance, Benchmade, and some other nice knives. So it's not going to be for everybody, but the whole concept here is the best carry that you can put together at Bass Pro. And this is what we came away with. It's not the most expensive. They had more expensive Leathermans, they had more expensive knives, they had more expensive things. We also skipped a watch last time. We had this really cheap, terrible watch. I didn't even bother, but also we looked for watches and couldn't find any. There was also no pen or notebook. They do have them on their website, and I'm sure that they may carry them in the store, but we walked around for a while, never found anything. So no pen, no notebook, and no watch. Just to note really quickly, they do have watches. They did have watches, but it was 2 Garmin watches. I wasn't gonna spend $1,000 on a watch that I basically already have. So wasn't gonna happen. If you want a Garmin, you can get them at Bass Pro. Let's start with the wallet, because this one actually surprised me. This time I found a Carhartt wallet, which was also surprising. It came in leather, but also in their nylon duck. And it's just a little card holder. So according to this little tag, this says that it is a rain defender. It's waterproof or water resistant. It's under a tag. It's made with Cordura, and it is RFID blocking. And it's just a slim little card holder style wallet. You have a pocket in the middle here, which is like a nice little plaid. Another pocket here and here. So there's 3 middle pockets, card slots on the outside, an easy push-up one, and then some more. And that's really all there is to it. And a little attachment if you want to connect this to a chain. Are chain wallets still a thing? They are, because we saw one on YouTube last night. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a Carhartt jacket turned into a wallet, and it's minimal. It's the only one that they had there that I would even consider buying ever, because all the other ones were big, bulky, engraved, or there was one with a giant bass on it and it was bright green. Like, no. This is the only one that I would get from Bass Pro, and it looks pretty nice. Very slim, minimal Carhartt wallet. Moving on. Next up, last time I'm pretty sure we got a Streamlight light as well. There are no Coast lights. There's nothing from Phoenix or anything like that. It's basically Streamlight and a whole bunch of headlamps, and maybe like a Bass Pro branded AAA something. This is the only one to get that I could see. There was a ProTac just like last time, but 10 times out of 10, if I have the option, I'm gonna choose the MicroStream USB because it's USB rechargeable. It does come with a lanyard and a USB cable. I'm lying, it doesn't come with a cable. Yes, it does. But basically, you have a tail switch and 2 modes. So starts low, press again high, and you full press to lock into that mode. And then up here, you have a micro USB charging port and a gasket, like an O-ring, so that it can be closed and water resistant. It has a 2-way pocket clip for your hat. So if you need to use it as a headlamp, so to speak, you can. It's a good light. I've recommended it many, many times. It's one of the best flashlights in the $30 price range, period. I think most people will agree with that. So you can get them at Bass Pro. They're still just 30 bucks. Only thing I wish is that they would upgrade this to USB-C. I wish Streamlight would do that already, but they're not. It's still micro USB. This would be the only thing I have that's micro USB. Either way, still a good $30 flashlight. Next, we got keys. I was gonna just do this G series because I've done all of these night ties every single time because this is typically the only option you have in big box stores. But I had not seen this size G series. Like, this is a size of G series that I might actually use. I never actually end up using the other ones. I will use them around the office here. I'll give them to people, but I don't ever really keep them for myself. But this size is actually really, really nice. I think this was like $4 or $5. They're not very expensive. And they have a secondary, what do they call it? Dual chamber. So you have your main spring gate up here and then one here that'll separate your keys. So when you're taking this on and off things, your keys aren't gonna fall off. It's pretty standard now. We see this style carabiner basically everywhere. And this is one that, like, now that I have a million keys for my truck, this is something I could see myself using and needing, and they're very cost effective. We were looking for watches and moving on, about to leave the store, and I stumbled across this. This is the 511 Hardpoint M1 Plus MD. So this is effectively this same thing. This was $6. Instead of having a spring gate here to put your keys in, you would attach them here directly with just a little split ring. But there's this piece, and this is why I grabbed this, because I don't think most people know what this is. Some people will see this and know exactly what it is, but basically you would clip your keys like this, and literally anything with some MOLLE webbing, you can attach this to your MOLLE, and then you have a quick attachment place for keys, or anything that you would put on this carabiner. I'd never seen something just so simple like this. For $6, this is awesome. There's not really much in the way of actual key organization in any of these stores. Sometimes they'll have a Key Smart, and I think I might have had a Key Smart Flex in the last one. That might have been a different box store, but these little night ties things are great. But that is actually super neat, especially if you have anything regular with MOLLE, like your backpack. If you got MOLLE on the outside of your backpack, this is great. And you don't even really need MOLLE, just 1-inch webbing. It's perfect for that. All right, we are down to the last two things. Let's talk Leatherman first. They have bit kits, which I was not expecting to see there. I don't necessarily need to include the bit kit in the video as like the best EDC, because not everybody uses this for EDC, but it should be known that they have the bit kit there in stock. So if you need bits for your Leatherman and you don't want to wait on, say, Amazon or Leatherman to ship them, you can go to Bass Pro and pick them up. That's one of the only places I know of in person that you can get the bit kit. I've been to REI a bunch. They have all the Leatherman. I've never seen the bit kits at REI. Some might have them. I'm just saying this is the only box store I've ever seen the bit kit in. Moving on. We picked, out of all the Leathermans they had, the Curl. So I went in with hopes that they would have a Leatherman Arc for two reasons. One, it would have been the best Leatherman. Obviously. Two, I want another Leatherman Arc, so maybe we can destroy one. I don't want to destroy my own that I actually use and carry. This is in my pocket every day now, so no luck. They had no free series except for like the T2, I believe it was. So no free P4, free P2. They had a Surge, which maybe some people would consider better. The reason I didn't get the Surge over the Curl, no pocket clip. So for me, not really EDC. They did have a Skeletal CX, but I don't really love the Skeletal only because the clip on it is terrible. And I've lost two Skeletals over the years. So we went with a Curl, which now I'm realizing looks like it's already been opened. So somebody returned it. Yeah, they repackaged that pretty poorly. If you're not familiar with the Curl, it's very similar to a Leatherman Wave, but instead of 4 tools on the outside, you have 2. So one side is just flat. So on this one, you get a straight edge blade and a file, which are two of my most used things on a Leatherman. On the inside, you get tools very similar to the Leatherman Wave. You have a bottle opener, a interchangeable bit driver. You also have the smaller scissors from the Wave, a flathead, and a awl/reamer. And that is it. You do have like your rulers and stuff. You do not have replaceable wire cutters. They're just the standard old like Wave style. And it's basically like a Wave Lite. They are $80-ish, $90, and it does come with a pocket clip, whereas the Wave did not. The thing that's a little weird about this is look at that pocket clip. Do you see it? Can you see that? It's kind of canted because the whole scale there is curved, sloped off. I don't know why they did that. I guess to slim it out a little bit, maybe. But For 90 bucks, this is a really solid EDC Leatherman. And I think that was the deciding factor for me, is a clip. I'm not gonna consider a Leatherman, an EDC Leatherman, if there's no clip, and there's no way to buy a clip for one. Like, you could get a clip aftermarket for the Surge, but we're talking about what you can get at Bass Pro. There was no clip for sale there, so the Leatherman Curl wins out, because I'd rather have this over the Skeletal, even though there were some other Leathermans that I really like the Rebar, the Surge. But for EDC purposes and the purpose of this video, I think the Curl wins that argument. So that plus your bit kit is a pretty solid thing. And the thing I was talking about is actually not true of this belt. I guess technically you could argue that any of them that have this, which is I think every single Leatherman, the belt pouch could make it an EDC thing, but I've literally never carried my Leatherman on my belt. I don't want to. I don't want a belt pouch. I want a pocket clip. So not everybody's going to agree with that, but for me, that makes the Curl the choice for this instance. All right, moving on to the very last item. This was probably the biggest decision to make for this video. They had a lot of Benchmades, but it was mostly like some of the ones that I've already owned. A lot of, like, I've basically owned every single Benchmade they had there except for the Super Freak. That and the Tagged Out. And I just didn't feel like buying another Benchmade, especially one that I've had and owned many times over and still have here. You know, I just didn't want to do that. You guys don't want to see the same knife over and over. I also almost bought a Case knife, because Case has some frame locks that are actually really nice now. We'll talk about those in a future video, because I have several of them here and they're actually really nice for the money. I decided not to go with those because I've actually always wanted to own this knife and I've never pulled the trigger, and this just seemed like a good opportunity to get this. I'm not usually a huge zero tolerance fan. I've owned maybe 4 zero tolerances over the years. They're just not that prominent. You don't hear about them much anymore. They're not doing a whole lot to keep up with the fast pace of every other knife company. I've said that before, and I said it in my best knives under $100 video where I was talking about the Iridium, the Kershaw Iridium, which was one of my favorite knives of last year. Kai is actually doing things, but zero tolerance just, they're kind of lagging behind. But Ricky corrected me earlier at Bass Pro and said, no, they had something come out recently with MagnaCut. I don't know exactly what that was. Doesn't matter. We're off topic. The point is, I wanted to look at zero tolerance, and specifically this model. This is the 0450 Sinkovich. I've never had one, but it's so iconic for zero tolerance. It's something that I should have owned long before now. And here it is. Now I probably overpaid for it because I got it at Bass Pro, but it's the name of the game for this video series. It is a smaller frame lock titanium knife with, what is it, S30V? S35VN. It's on bearings, and it's nice. It's actually really nice. And I'm thinking right now, I probably made the right choice as in terms of what would be the knife at Bass Pro that I could buy and I would actually use and carry. This would probably be it. The one thing that sucks, I can tell you now, that clip sucks. That clip with me will last no time, but at least it looks like it has a similar pattern to something else. I could probably put something else on it if I carry it, if I even carry it. But honestly, it feels solid. It feels good. Looks good, sounds good. I want to say it was like 230, something like that. Yeah, 230. I'm not mad about that, not at all. American made, really good. I mean, I like that when you push that lock bar and you can hear it kind of disengage, and I like that. So yeah, I'm not mad about that at all. Not in any way. The clip kind of sucks, but I could live with it. So before we wrap this whole thing up, let's talk about those Case knives. So I have them here. They had both of these in the store. They had the Marilla, which is this one. I want to say this was like $150, $160 in that same price range as the other one, which is the Kinzua. Yeah, Kinzua. They had this one with like a gray handle, I believe, and this exact model. And then they also had, no, they did not have any of the Tanto, at least on display. So the Kinzua comes in a lot of different colors and blade styles, but they had basically these two models, and this one was just a different color handle in that 160 range. And you're talking USA made, with CPM 20CV blade steel on this one, and I believe this one's S35VN. So we're talking USA made S35VN, and this one was 230, this one was like 160. So, and honestly, the quality is really good out of case, but the reason I did not go with this is because I already have one, you know. So I wanted to buy one of these because I'd not had one, but also I kind of have this thing. Let me show you what I mean by that. Never owned this, but I've always wanted to. I've always been interested by Dmitry Sinkovich's design, and here's another example. This is not a Sinkovich design, not to my knowledge, but this is the Sincut Tynan. This was one of my favorite knives under $100. It was like a $30 knife, maybe 40 from Sincut. It is now discontinued, which sucks, but I mean, look at that. Look at the lines. Same size, very, very similar profile, flipper, frame lock, titanium. Well, this one's not titanium, but you get the point. And then one of my favorite knives of all time, the Shirogorov Neon. This is the NL, but just the Neon in general. Has a lot of similarities, which is no surprise, right? Sinkovich has done some designs for Shirogorov, but these two knives are just right there. This one, honestly, is probably gonna stay in the collection. I like it. I'm actually really impressed with it. If I do decide to carry it, I might look for a different clip. But yeah, I'm not mad about 230. Could I have come out better for less money with one of these Kinzuas? Maybe, but I've always wanted a 0450, and now I have one. So anyway, there we are with the best carry that I could put together at Bass Pro, minus a watch or a pen. I'm pretty pleased with this. I know I say that a lot with these videos, but this combination feels really solid and like something I would typically carry. I mean, compared to what I threw down on the table a minute ago, we're missing a good pen, but like, I'd carry this. The wallet is probably the worst part of it, just because it's, you know, it's a pretty generic wallet, and I'm more of a leather wallet guy, but and they did have a leather version, it just didn't look as nice. But anyway, tell me how you think I did in the comments down below, and let me know where you think we should go next, because it's a new year. I've not done a lot of these recently, and maybe we revisit some other stores that we haven't done in a while, or something new that I haven't done before. So that's it. I'll link all this stuff down below so you can find it and check it out yourself. I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, carry on.